Ooh, yeah. Let's
Nice.
invite Smith to play Deep Rock
Oh,
Galactic.
color vision. Normal.
Oh, it's true. Oh my goodness, I forgot. You're colorblind.
Hey there folks, hope you're having a fantastic day. My name's Hayden and today we're trying to figure out if Deep Rock Galactic is a game that Christians should play or not.
Fasten your seatbelt.
Lap of the dice.
Slap at the dice. Slap, 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 slap.
Rock and stone, everyone!
Rock and stewed, everyone.
Deep Rock Galactic is a cooperative first-person shooter video game developed by Danish studio Ghost Ship Games and published by Coffee Stain Publishing. Deep Rock Galactic was fully released on May 13th, 2020 for Microsoft Windows and Xbox One after its early release on February 28th, 2018. If you're not familiar with the game at all, this is kind of what the game is. It functions kind of like an extraction shooter in the sense of, but you're dropping into a cave and your mission is to go explore and find different stuff. Sometimes you're mining stuff, sometimes you're looking for certain things, all sorts of different missions you're doing, but your goal is to do that. And as you're going along the way, there's all sorts of other valuable resources that you can mine out of the cave system as well. Now, the other thing that happens is there's a bunch of kind of bug-like alien creatures that come out at you, and you need to defeat them to stay alive yourself. And so your team is dropping in. It's a team of 4 dwarves. You're all on the same team. It's an only cooperative game, which I think lends itself to some really cool moments.
I think my favorite is the just prolonged rock and stone.
Rock and roll and stone! Come on, guys! Rock and stone!
Rock and stone to the bone!
Rock and stone! It never gets old.
So that's the basic idea of what you're doing in game. Drop in, grab resources, do your mission, get out. That is pretty much the entire gameplay loop, and there's a lot of variety in kind of the things you're doing, and the cave systems are always different since they are procedurally generated. We got it.
Procedurally.
It is rated T14 for blood, language, use of alcohol and tobacco, and violence. All right, so diving into the categories themselves, is there any spiritual elements in Deep Rock Galactic? I do not think that there are any at all, which is great. And so we'll go ahead and just move right along. Are there any sexual or romantic aspects in this game? Absolutely not. This is very far away from that, which is fantastic. I don't even think there's a single female in the game. So no, there's none of that, and that is fantastic. Love it. There's really no point for it to be in this type of a game anyways. Violence. Is there some violence in the game? I'd say there's a very mild bit of violence, especially in the sense, comparing this to a lot of other games, the violence is against these bugs, these alien bugs. And so I think that's something that I feel way more comfortable about in comparison to other games where you're shooting other people, you know, that type of thing. And so this is one that I feel very, very comfortable, I think, playing myself and also potentially recommending to other people as well. So there is some violence, there are guns, there are grenades, there are some different things like that, but all of it is focused toward the enemy, the bugs, which I think helps out a lot in that type of a sense. Is there any language in Deep Rock Galactic? There is some language. It is pretty infrequent. If you accidentally shoot someone or someone accidentally shoots you, there's some phrases that come out occasionally that use the S word and the A word, I think. And so I wish that wasn't in there. It doesn't really feel like it needs to be in there. For me, it feels so infrequent for the most part that it doesn't bother me, but it is definitely something that I think we need to be aware of. And so there's some games and some things that it's just so consistent and so frequent that I wouldn't want to play that. This is not one of those games to me. Drugs and alcohol. Are there drugs and alcohol in the game? I don't think there's any drugs, so to speak. I guess not so to speak, just period. Alcohol, there is some alcohol, which I actually really think is a super fun and funny part of the game. And so I know there can be a lot of different Christian circles on alcohol. I do not think alcohol use responsibly is an issue. Obviously, that's a whole much longer, deeper conversation. So I'm just going to leave it at that. In game itself, there is a bar and you can go to it and purchase a round for your crew, which I think is just super fun. Like, it's a fun way for you to interact with your team. And so, I mean, would I prefer it to be a coffee bar? I actually probably would like that more, but it fits the theme and it does not feel like an issue for me. Fear. Is there any fear in Deep Rock Galactic? This is another one where I feel like you just need to look yourself, like watch some gameplay, watch some YouTube videos, watch someone streaming it if you can find someone, watch some of this gameplay. These bugs can be kind of scary. There's a lot of stuff going on. It doesn't feel, it's definitely not a horror game. I say that a lot. And so I think that's something to keep in mind, something to be aware of, but it does not seem like a big deal. And this one feels very fantasy in a lot of ways, very unrealistic and that kind of thing. So maybe a little bit of fear, definitely not any horror in my mind. All right, positive elements. This is my favorite because we get to talk about the good stuff in games. I think one of the biggest things that's just so cool about this game to me is the camaraderie. Like, this is it's just a fun game. Like, there's a lot of games that are super intense or super difficult, have a super high learning curve, all sorts of different things in a lot of games. This game is just kind of fun to play. There's a lot of difficulty levels that you can set and all of that, but I have had such a good experience of hosting games, having other random people jump in and jumping in on other people's random games that they're hosting, and it's so fun. Like, it just works really well. Each dwarf is kind of specialized in their own way, so each of them have different unique abilities and tools that they use to navigate the tunnel system, for example, and there's just some really cool stuff that happens in that. There is also a typing chat, so you can type out messages to people and stuff like that, and I have never had anyone, I've played almost 100 hours, I think, of this game, and I've never had anyone say anything bad in that. The worst thing that I've ever had happen in a Deep Rock Galactic game is I've gotten kicked out of a game a couple of times. When I was in over my head, I joined a super difficult match and I just died a bunch of times. You go down, they have to come revive you, and I was not pulling my weight, and so I was kicked out of a game. And I don't even feel that bad about that. That's probably happened twice. So really, really friendly player base, incredibly helpful. There have been people that have been so helpful. You do not have to be good at the game to have a fun time and learn what's going on. People are so friendly and so helpful for the most part, and that has been awesome. Negatives. Are there negatives in the game? I think that the main negatives are the things that we've talked about. The biggest single negative for me would be the language. I feel like it doesn't really need to be there, and I also feel like this game is one where you probably have a lot of younger audience playing this game, and so it just doesn't seem like it needs to be there for any reason. I think it can be fun for a lot of different age ranges, but I could see like this game being one that I would let younger kids play and be okay with that. But there are just a couple of things in there that I think are really worth considering. And so I feel like T for Teen is probably about right. I might push it a little bit higher just because there's some stuff in there. But for the most part, I feel really, really good about Deep Rock Galactic. So would I let my two sons, Everett and Miles, play this game? I absolutely would. I would have a super fun time playing this game with them. I think the infrequency of the language and those other things makes it to where I'd feel comfortable with that, but I would want them to probably be T for teen, as is the rating for this game. And so that's kind of my overall thought about that. I think there's a few things to keep in mind. It could be a little bit scary, so you want your kid to be old enough to do that. You want yourself to be old enough to do that, depending on who's watching this video. And there is some language, there is the alcoholic beverages, like there's a bar. And so do you feel like your kid needs to be older before they're exposed to that? For me, I don't have an issue with it, but I don't want to throw it. Kids should not be playing a game with that content, I don't think. And so just trying to balance that out, I think that those are my thoughts on if I'd let my sons play it when they are older. I think I absolutely would, and we would have a blast. Wrapping up here, conclusion for myself, should I play Deep Rock Galactic? Would I play it myself? Yes, it is so fun. This is one of the more fun games that I think I've played with friends online. It's just fun. There's so many other games where you're against other people, other real people online, and those are just so much more difficult. It demands so much more of you. This game has a slower pace to it. You can get into some super easy matches. There's a up and down of different waves of enemies that come, and then there's a pause where you're just working on your mission, trying to do your thing. So this is absolutely a game that I will continue to play, and a super, super fun one to play with friends. And so I would highly recommend this game if you're looking for something to play and you are at least T for teen. If you're older, still a super, super fun game. So those are my thoughts. That's my idea on Deep Rock Galactic. Are there reasons not to play this game? I think there are, and especially at various ages, but I think as a whole, it is a game that I can recommend, and it's just a super fun game to play with some camaraderie. I think the camaraderie in this game is pretty fun to see. If you like the video and these types of videos, please do like and subscribe. I appreciate that. YouTubers tell you to, and so I gotta do that thing, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Have a good day. See ya. I think that'll do it. That should be enough.